Let's get one thing straight. You're not in a cult. Obviously. Cults are weird. Cults are dangerous. Cults are those groups where people wear matching clothes, chant mantras, and give up all their money to follow a narcissistic leader claiming to speak for God. That's not your group. Yours is different. Yours is the truth. That's what every cult member thinks. Ironically, the most effective cults are the ones that have convinced their members they aren't in one. Because you see, in the cult world, everyone else is deceived. Everyone else is blind. Everyone else needs to wake up. Everyone but you, of course. One of the most telling signs of a cult is the demand for unquestioning obedience. You're told what to believe, who to trust, what to read or not read, and how to interpret every little thing. But when you're in a cult, it's not obedience, it's respect for God's arrangement, or loyalty to the truth, or spiritual maturity. If you're discouraged from thinking critically or doubting what the leaders say, you're probably not just being faithful. You're being controlled. Cults thrive on division. It's us, the enlightened, the chosen, the saved, versus them, the lost, the evil, the blind. This division creates fear and dependency. If you leave, you're not just making a life choice. You're betraying the divine, risking eternal death, or proving you're under Satan's influence. Convenient, right? Makes it very hard to walk away when your entire identity and salvation depend on staying in the group. If your group has a leader who claims divine authority, cannot be questioned, and always has a convenient revelation just in time to explain a failed prophecy or change a doctrine, congratulations, you've found a cult. Or rather, someone else has. You'll just call your guy anointed, the prophet, or the governing body. Because it's never a cult if it's your leader. Does your group tell you to avoid external sources of information? To stay away from critics or so-called apostates? To distrust science, education, or anything not filtered through the group? That's not caution. That's control. Cults maintain power by monopolizing knowledge and demonizing doubt. If reading a book can destroy your faith, maybe your faith isn't built on very solid ground. A person being hugged and showered with hearts as they join a group, then shunned and ignored after expressing doubt. Many cults thrive on end-time obsession. They tell you the world is about to end, soon, very soon. This generates urgency. No time to think. No time to question. Just obey, preach, donate, prepare. They've been saying this for decades, of course. Maybe even centuries. But hey, God's time is different from ours, right? Meanwhile, you're aging, your kids grow up inside a bubble, and the soon becomes your entire life. Ever see someone get shunned for falling in love with the wrong person? Or expelled for asking sincere questions? In a cult, rules always trump empathy. If your humanity clashes with doctrine, guess which one gets sacrificed? If you're taught that compassion is weakness and strict obedience is love, you're not being uplifted, you're being dehumanized. Cults don't just think they're right. They think they're the only ones right. Not we think we're closer to truth, but God only listens to us. All other religions, philosophies, or spiritual paths are corrupt, misguided, or satanic. This is spiritual arrogance dressed up as humility. It creates dependency and isolates you from the rest of the world, where, ironically, many good people live happy, ethical lives without believing what your group believes. Busy people don't ask questions. That's why cults keep you occupied. Your time is packed with meetings, preaching, study, cleaning the temple, preparing talks, attending conventions. You're so spiritually busy, you barely have time to live. And if you ever take a break, guilt hits you like a divine punishment, because spiritual performance is the currency of cultish devotion. Does your group teach that everything outside is dangerous? That the world is full of wickedness, lies, and temptation? That if you leave, your life will fall apart? That's not divine protection. It's psychological entrapment. Cults paint the world as a threat to keep you inside. But here's the twist. The world isn't perfect, but it's not the horror show you've been told either. Cults often change their beliefs, quietly. One day blood transfusions are evil, the next they're a conscience matter. Prophecies fail, timelines shift, explanations evolve. But instead of admitting error, they just gaslight the past. If your group claims to be God's channel, but constantly updates its teachings like a buggy software app, maybe it's not divine inspiration after all. Cults love being hated. It confirms they're on the right path. Any criticism is seen as persecution. Any lawsuit is proof we're doing God's work. Any negative media coverage? Satan's attack. If your group can't take criticism without turning it into a holy badge of honor, you're not in a persecuted minority, you're in a bubble of self-righteous paranoia. Where's the money going? Who's living comfortably while the members sacrifice everything? If your leaders live in luxury while guilt-tripping you into giving more for the kingdom, you're not supporting God's work, you're financing a religious corporation. True faith doesn't require bankrupting your followers. Cults do. In healthy communities, you can leave with love and respect. In cults, leaving means losing your family, your friends, your support system, your entire identity. If your group only accepts you when you're inside and cuts you off when you leave, it's not a spiritual home, it's a hostage situation. Every cult denies being a cult. It's part of the playbook. They'll call themselves a spiritual paradise, the only truth, or God's organization. But never a cult. That's reserved for the weirdos across the street. Here's the deal. If your group fits all the signs above but insists they're not a cult, maybe it's time to ask the hard question. Maybe you're not. Maybe your group is the rare exception. Maybe it's just a little intense, a little strict, a little closed-minded. Or maybe, just maybe, you've been taught to ignore the signs because only other people fall for cults. But truth doesn't fear questions. And real faith doesn't require blind submission. If you feel afraid to doubt, to leave, to ask, then you already know the answer. Cults don't start with horns and pitchforks. They start with love, purpose, and belonging. But they end with control, fear, and silence. If you're brave enough to question, you're already freer than you think. Because in the end, truth doesn't need chains to keep you in. Only lies do.
Thank you for watching. If you found this video interesting or thought-provoking, please consider giving it a like, sharing it with others, and leaving a comment with your opinion. I'd love to hear what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future content. See you in the next video.